Every so often, the Sports Hangover touches on mature topics. Discretion is advised. Gossip, BS, lies, and rumors. This is the Sports Hangover.
I don't know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's not.
It gets the people going.
And welcome to another edition of the Sports Hangover. Mike, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. You're back. You're back in Orlando. You look so refreshed from all your travels.
I'm not. I've been working a lot. I'm very tired, but I'm here because the show is a priority, and the Sports Hangover is having a huge march. The downloads are killing it. I think it's because of our bracket of Bachelor and Bachelorette cities. Today, we are going from the Elite Eight to the Final Four.
And I just want to shout out Hangover.network. We have tons of great blogs. We have the Puck Tour. Sam's going around all the stadiums in the U.S., just watching hockey everywhere. It's a great follow.
If you're into that, you better check out Hangover.network.
Also, J Dawg wrote a hot piece on Mike Tomlin. Really getting a lot of
some Steeler fans would call it a hit piece.
They're not. They don't appreciate it. They're not liking your thoughts on Tomlin. But go read it there. I'm sure we'll.
Understandable. Yeah. That's what I was going for.
We'll touch on it today. I'm sure. And a lot of great stuff over there. A lot of swag, everything. Go check it out.
Mike, I am so excited. It's March. We've been talking brackets all month. I have some big news to kick us off.
Is it breaking news? All right, what do you got?
Just today, this morning, I booked my ticket to the NCAA tournament. I'm going to March Madness in Columbia, South Carolina to see Zion and Duke, baby.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Really? So you got a ticket to go?
I got a ticket. I'm driving up only less than 6 hours.
Why are you driving all the way up there?
It's a road trip, but listen.
I hate road trips.
Awesome. Yeah, you hate a lot of things. UCF is in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2005.
Okay.
I was in high school. You were like after college?
I just graduated high school. Okay.
So 05 was the last time they were there, and they're an 8 or 9 seed, and they're playing an 8 or 9 seed, VCU, and then Duke is playing in the same side of the bracket. So my ticket to UCF gets me into the Duke game.
Wow.
And on Sunday, if UCF wins, Duke's obviously going to win. It's Duke and UCF playing each other on Sunday, so I'll go to that game too.
And talking about the bracket and March Madness, we are having one of the newest podcasts in the Hangover Network. We're having the Gambling Goose. We're having Bill from the Gambling Goose. Come on. He's going to give us all the best bets for the bracket. Jeremy, when?
I'm excited. So you got to fill out your bracket. It's due by Thursday at noon Eastern time. All the office pools are filling up. I want to ask him about Duke. Are they going to go win it all? Is UCF going to pull the upset?
Probably not. But the thing with the bracket is it's really weird because even people that don't watch, like I don't watch any college basketball, and there's a lot of people that don't, especially like in college pools and everything. People just
and
fill
the people
it out.
Who win typically don't watch college basketball.
No, it's the same thing. Like when you're on football on Super Bowl, people fill out all those little things and they end up winning money because like just
lucky people like you.
I didn't win much this year, but still, it's a crazy thing. No one's. I don't know if I'm going to watch any. It starts this weekend, right? Like, I don't even know when it starts.
Yeah, it starts Thursday. Thursday, Friday are crazy days because it's 4 games per site. It's like there's 16 games a day on Thursday, Friday. It's crazy, Mike. People take off work and go to Vegas for this.
I will not be doing that. I almost went to Vegas. One of these pro gamblers I follow are doing like a little event out there, and I almost went out there. It's like free food, booze, and gambling.
I actually, side note, I met a pro gambler at a TPC Sawgrass last weekend, and he's going to come on the show in the next few weeks, and he's going to give us some dirt. But the Goose, we're excited for him because that's today's show, and that's in just a few minutes. I do want to mention just a negative about me attending a college basketball game.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this. There's no booze sold at these games.
No booze at all.
Not at all.
Jerry, that's not good. That's not good at all.
So it's the pregame's going to be lit because you got to get fired up for the next 4 hours.
Now, are you going to do like an edible or something? You could do that and just kick in during.
No.
I don't know.
I don't really do that. That's not my style.
Trying to get it in. I mean, maybe
I like to be in tune with my own self.
All right.
I'm not really into that.
So pregame's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it'll be a big time pregame. Columbia, South Carolina, and hey, we're road tripping. It's going to be great. So you're welcome to come.
No, I'm gonna pass on that. But we were supposed to hang out next week, but you bailed. So cool.
I did not. Our friend did, who's so rich he could afford a vacation every weekend of his life, and he's the one who bailed on us.
Talking about really rich, Jeremy. Great segue. the richest player in baseball. I don't even talk about baseball.
Oh my gosh.
Was that a great segue?
Wow.
Tell me about the deal. Mike Trout got a huge deal. He's here in L.A. Am I supposed to care?
You are coming around because
I'm really coming around.
This was like the 7th story on my rundown, and it's number 2 for you, which is awesome.
I want to hit it quick and just get it over with, like a Band-Aid. Just pull it real quick.
Just pull it right off. So Mike Trout signed for $430 million for 12 years with the Angels. Now, Mike Trout plays in L.A., and I have a question for you.
Okay.
If I showed you 5 pictures of random baseball players, could you pick out Mike Trout?
I'm going to say no, but I did see like a few people post about him, but I don't think I could still pick him out. I'm really bad with faces and names. Like I went to a party over the weekend and people were saying, "Hey, good to see you again." And I like legit just handed like, "Hey, I'm Michael. Nice to meet you." Like I never met him before, and I guess I've met him a few times. So I'm bad.
All right, let's play the game. This is going to be good radio. Okay. Is this Mike Trout?
I can't really see it, but that is not Mike Trout because Mike Trout is a little bit more less chiseled from what I've seen.
Less chiseled.
Less chiseled.
Let's keep playing the game. This is great
This
radio.
is really good radio.
So he signed for $430 million, which, by the way, is $100 million more than Bryce Harper just signed for last week, and it's one less year. So he shattered Bryce's record deal. And by the way, I wrote that blog, remember?
I remember.
It's on hangover.network right now. You can still read it about why Bryce will regret the deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid a week later he already regrets it.
I'm sure.
Is this
He's a sucker.
Mike Trout?
Sure. He looks a little chunkier. I would agree that could be him.
Okay, very positive there. You're right.
Okay, it is him.
Sure.
I mean, this is
sure.
really sure. Yeah, this is. So he's got a lot of money. So is what's his name? Bryce Harper a sucker for signing the $330 million deal?
Yeah, he's a sucker, and he's going to regret it instantly because he's locked in. Remember, that's what I talked about. There's no opt-outs. There's no way to leave after 3 or 5 years as inflation changes. And so it's a terrible deal for him because all of the next generation of players. Listen, Trout's the best right now. He could be one of, if not the best ever. That's not an exaggeration. He really could be. So no one's going to match his deal, I don't think. But all these young players are going to fly past Harper's. Harper really screwed up, and his agent did too, Scott Boras.
Well, let's talk another huge deal for the state of Miami. Not the state of Miami, the state of Florida. Miami got Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I thought he was retired after the Bucs, right? Was he even re-signed with the Bucs?
He was with the Bucs on a lot of picks, and you kind of thought he would just drift away, but he's part of the Dolphins tank for Tua process. I'm on board with it. My dad said he texted me and he said, a lot of people are saying Fitzpatrick is going to help with tank for Tua. I said that's exactly right. Throw interceptions, get the top draft pick the following year because he's good at interceptions. Is
it a fantasy friendly one because he does throw those long balls? He's kind of like aggressive, like kind of like not tanking, but kind of like that garbage time area where it's like, oh yeah, he can score like 3 or 4 touchdowns in that last 12 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think he's always going to be a better fantasy quarterback than reality quarterback. He's not going to help the Dolphins win games, which is exactly what we want, because either they're going to trade up and draft Kyler Murray this year, or they're going to wait to draft Tua next year.
And what do you think of Tannehill at whatever it's called? Like, what is he?
Oh, my gosh, Mike. Last week I took a nap in the afternoon, and I woke up, and Tannehill's on a new team. And I was like, let's go celebrate. Let's have a party. Because they got a 4th-round draft pick for him, which is amazing value. They're ready to cut him and eat all of his salary, so I loved it.
So now he's in Tennessee, right? He's a backup to Mariota?
Yeah, and they're both kind of similar. They're both injury-prone.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Mariota's much better than Tannehill. Are you?
No, I don't think so. I think Tannehill might be like come in and kind of just do things a little differently that look great. Like if he comes in and backs him up for a game, you're like, oh shit, why is Tannehill not playing on a team? Why is he not a starter?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to win.
I don't think so either.
Speaking of guys who have question marks surrounding them, Tyreek Hill is he's a bad boy.
Yeah, that's not good.
Because there are new reports coming out that he was involved in another violent situation. I don't have all the details. It may have been domestic against a woman, I believe.
Wait, I thought it was against a kid. I thought he beat up his kid.
Oh, I didn't read the details. I just read the headlines.
He beat up his kid.
His own kid?
His own kid.
Wow, that's not good.
Yeah,
so
that's not.
apparently, a lot of reports are coming out that the Chiefs were in on Antonio Brown, on Le'Veon Bell, on a lot of the playmakers, and teams were wondering, like, hey, this doesn't make sense because you need to lock up Tyreek. He's going to be a free agent in a year. If you sign Le'Veon or Brown, you're not going to be able to afford Tyreek, and Tyreek is a freak, obviously. We saw what he did last year, one of the best receivers in the league. It turns out the Chiefs knew about the situation. So let's play a little game of BS or believe.
All right. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe. Give it to me.
We saw it happen with Kareem Hunt. He beat up a woman. It was on video, so we don't know if video exists, and he never played another game for the Chiefs. He's now on the Browns. More on the Browns in a moment. But
great team, the Browns.
Bullshit or believe, Tyreek Hill never plays another game for the Chiefs.
I think you have to believe it because at some point the NFL has to do something. Like you can't just keep saying like, oh, this penalty for this guy, or you're out this many games, or you're doing this. It's got to be a strict policy. And I think beating somebody up and domestic violence, that should not be just like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's like a DUI. We'll just, 5 games out, you're fine. I think it's got to be a little stricter so people stop doing it or I don't know. So I don't think he ever plays for the Chiefs again. And I wonder, do the Chiefs get to like kind of void his contract? Do they have to pay him? I don't think they have to pay him, right? Like they can he's gone.
No, I think they would void it. It's only like a year left, like I said. I agree with you. I believe it because, he had a domestic violence issue in the past. It just was before he was on the Chiefs. And when the Chiefs signed him originally, he was just like a punt returner, number 5 receiver. Yeah. No one really cared that he had this checkered past. And all these reports came up more recently. And we always said, like, if his was on video like Kareem Hunt's, he wouldn't even be on the Chiefs because obviously video changes everything.
Not good.
It's bad for the Chiefs because like they just gave Mahomes that record deal, or is he going to sign a record deal? I forget if they signed him yet.
It's definitely going to affect Mahomes, but I don't think it's going to affect them that much. He still has weapons. He's still got people there. But you
start to look at like 2 of his 3 best playmakers, Hunt and Hill, not around. Mm-hmm. Sammy Watkins isn't good. Kelsey's like your only guy that you really depend on.
Yeah, but it's kind of
like not a great situation.
But it's kind of like a Brady situation, right? Like it really matters to the quarterback.
Yeah, if Mahomes is the best ever, he's got a little ways to go.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, Brady doesn't have a lot of skilled players around him, and he makes use of what he has, and I think Mahomes has enough, like, he moves around enough to figure something out, and I think he'll do fine. I think he'll do fine. I mean, Kelsey's still there. The defense is still there. I don't know. Should be fine.
They need to add playmakers. Sportstradamus is predicting, that's me by the way, is predicting that the Dolphins trade Kenny Stills, who is a poor man's Tyreek Hill, to the Chiefs for a 4th round.
I wish you had that God voice you could come in with, like, the Sportstradamus predicts this.
I have a lot of things, but a deep voice isn't one of them.
No, we got to get a soundboard over there. Any more BS or believe, or is that it?
I mean, yeah, we could play with the Browns. I mean, last week we talked about the Browns and the Odell thing, and I'm seeing a lot of stats so far on Baker Mayfield and how much more accurate he is than Eli and how big Odell is going to be. So store that away for fantasy football season if you decide to play.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm definitely not playing fantasy football this year.
Cool. Your enthusiasm is awesome on the show. They do have Kareem Hunt, and we failed to talk about that last week. So editor's note, sorry about that. But like I said, they do have Kareem Hunt. He's going to be out for weeks 1 through 8.
Yeah.
But he will be back to give a little break to Nick Chubb. The Browns have more playmakers than the Chiefs, and that is shocking.
I love it. I love the Browns. I was all in on the Browns last season. I'm even more in on the Browns. Now, it's going to be scary. We can talk to Goose about this, but gambling on them, they're going to be overvalued. So watch out.
Overvalued, but they could win a lot of games. I have a blog up right now on hangover.network on Mike Tomlin. We alluded to that earlier. It's basically, I want you to go read it. I'm not going to give it away, but it's a look at what's next for Tomlin because Ben is getting old. Bell and Brown are gone. Tomlin's like the 2nd most famous guy in that locker room at this point. And what's next for him? Go to hangover.network.
Ooh,
in the meantime,
I love the tease, Jeremy. I love the tease.
In the meantime, the bullshit or believe question. How about this? Do the Cleveland Browns, bullshit or believe, reach the Super Bowl? Reach the Super Bowl.
Reach the Super Bowl. Now, I believed it last year, and they didn't have much going on there.
That was a bad prediction.
Do I get like multiple years, or do I just say this year?
In the next, I'll give you in the next 2 years, do they reach the Super Bowl?
Now, anything can happen, but I would say yes. If they're the strongest in their division right now, I would say Yes, they definitely reach a Super Bowl. But things happen. I mean, if an injury happens or something like that. But at this point, you look at the team on paper, everybody should be good. Now, the personalities there might be somewhat conflicting, I'm sure, at some point. I'm sure Baker and Odell might get into it. Who knows? But I'm on
Baker's
board.
pretty good and Odell's pretty good. So you think like two great athletes can work together.
Yeah, but that's a lot of like testosterone and ego button heads. And you've lived in a house with a lot of guys. A lot of guys just end up just fighting all the time. Just for no reason.
I know about that. A lot of our listeners.
Just end up fighting. All right, I have a bullshit for you.
Oh, nice.
How about this? Does Josh Rosen get traded? Is it a bullshit? Rumors that we keep hearing about maybe he might be dealt to the Giants? Or is it believable that he will get traded?
I don't think Gettleman can pull off this trade. He's such an idiot. The guy at the Giants GM is such a freaking idiot. I don't have any belief that he can, because Rosen is a tremendous value. They already the Cardinals paid him the big bonus, so he's only $6 million for 3 years. That's $2 million a year. That's like no quarterback in the league. Like Fitzpatrick's making $7 million a year, and Rosen would make $2 million. Plus, he could be good. We don't know. He has such a small sample size. I don't think the Giants will trade for him. That's bullshit. I think a team like the Redskins or the Broncos or the Dolphins will.
But are they buying like an asset that the Cardinals believe has much more value than they're going after Rosen, thinking like, oh, you're trading already. You already want this other quarterback. You've already moved on, so your asset now is it's not as valuable as it used to be. Does that hurt them at all? Because they've already paid him. I don't know. I'm sure the contract isn't that big, but it sucks for whoever. Like,
so you're saying they lost leverage if teams know that
they're
taking Murray. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I wrote about that on Hangover Network. I really did, and there's more on Hangover Network about that. But yeah, you do lose some leverage, but they don't have to trade him. Like they could start Rosen if they feel like Murray's not ready. Yeah. Or I think that would be a healthy competition if they take Murray to have Rosen go compete against him. Because one thing we know about Rosen is he's ultra competitive and he's going to push. Either he's going to be the best quarterback in camp or he's going to push Murray to play even better than he already would have. But so that's not a bad situation, right?
I guess at some point it comes down to like knowledge, right? Like when you go into the game, it's about understanding the plays more than being a physical presence on the field, because you need to understand how these plays work. So I think Rosen has the upper hand, but Murray could come in and maybe take it. I don't know. I mean, but why not? I guess like trade him away. Why not get some value if you can at this point? Because I don't think in a year from now he's going to
only if teams are giving you value. I think nothing less than a second round pick. Like if it's only a third or a fourth, there's no reason to trade him now. Let him be your backup. Let him play. Yeah. If you're going to get a second-round pick for him and you don't feel like he's the guy, then I would go ahead and do the deal. The Redskins are brutal at the quarterback position. With the Dolphins signing Fitzpatrick, the Redskins have the worst quarterback room in the NFL.
Worse than the Dolphins?
Well, they have Fitzpatrick now. Right. The Redskins have Keenum. Who would you rather have?
I would rather have Keenum. All right, let's do Scandal City. Yeah, I would.
Time to dig up the dirtiest stories around the sport world.
No, I'd rather have Fitzpatrick.
You'd rather have Fitzpatrick than Keenum?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I just.
And I'm not saying that because he's on the Dolphins. I don't think he'll be good, but Keenum proved in Denver he's going to be trash.
Yeah, but I guess I've seen better things out of Keenum, I guess, on the when he was playing well.
But you don't know that Keenum's been in the league for 7 or 8 years, and we just found out about him that 1 year in Minnesota. He was just a career backup. He was a nobody.
I know, but
Fitzpatrick, we've known about his whole career.
I know, but he's been a backup, but then overtakes somebody he's on the Jets.
But he always does. But he's always he always gets the other guy gets benched because they see something in Fitzpatrick. No one's like, I saw something in Case Keenum, except for one special.
I know. All right, you got lucky. All right, the Scandal City, Robert Kraft. He will not see all the charges have been dropped against him. He's just going to have to do 100 hours of community service.
I thought that was not true. I thought he was not accepting the plea.
Is he not? Because that's what I read yesterday.
Oh, I read today he's not accepting the plea. Oh, well, then
that's breaking news. That's updated. So he's not accepting it at all. He's not accepting the prostitution or anything like that?
That's what I heard, and he wants to pursue it, which is weird because you think he'd want it to disappear right away, and and accepting it, accepting the plea would mean you say you're guilty.
We got to ask our lawyer friend.
Yes, this is true. So Robert Kraft will not accept the plea deal offered by Florida prosecutors. Okay. So if he would have accepted it, he would have had to obviously plead guilty. He would have had to do 100 hours community service, pay a $5,000 fine, which to him is nothing, and just move on. But he's choosing to fight it. It's a murky one because it's like, all he got was a rub and tug, right? Like, that's all that happened. And for those of you who don't know what a rub and tug is, just Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. I really don't think it was that big of a deal either. Like, obviously other things going on there.
Technically, it is illegal.
Which is weird because I feel like every shop
every time I've done it, I didn't think it was illegal.
I just feel like there's a weird shop on every corner that everybody's like, oh yeah, that's what they give you rub and tugs.
Well, I told you in LA, that's true. In this case, this is in a shopping center with a Publix and a salad place that my mom goes to.
Yes, which is
so this is a little different shop.
But what a better disguise in like a family community center where you just get rub and tugs.
Yeah,
and everybody
that's
goes
what
there.
he was thinking. I if I was him, wow, I'd be rich. That'd be fun.
That'd be great. What would you do
if
you owned them? Would you be getting people? Would you have to go somewhere to get a rub and tug? Wouldn't you just hire?
They would come to my house. I would hire them, and it would be like an escort. This is probably all illegal. I would never do any of this.
No. But hypothetically, if you were a billionaire,
yeah, I'd probably have them come to me. It's probably easier
for sure. Let's do the bracket. We have the greatest bracket. The voting ended last night. I was surprised how not close the entire voting was on this round.
We lost some really good choices in the first round. Some disappointments. The Waste Management Phoenix Open, gone. I think South Beach was eliminated, right?
Yeah. A lot of things.
Rio de Janeiro was not one of the good ones, but it was eliminated.
It was.
I know a lot of Canadas are left. I know a lot of Western cities are left. So break it down. All right, so give us our results. We are going from the Elite Eight to the Final Four.
So we'll start in the U.S. It was Vegas versus Seattle. Now, I didn't put the stats.
Easy.
I didn't put the stats here, but I will tell you this. All the votes were over 60% for the winner. Some were as high as 80.
Okay.
So it was it was drastically leaned one way. So everybody's on
Before you give out the winner, speaking of drastically leaned one way, your experience in Seattle.
Seattle's a great city, and I'll tell you this: Seattle is the winner. Seattle beat Seattle beat out Vegas by a landslide. It only looked like one person voted for Vegas.
That was me.
So you were the one who voted for Vegas. Seattle is the winner.
Seattle?
I don't know.
Seattle's solid. Vegas is Bachelor Party USA. That makes no
Jeremy,
sense. Did you flood the ballot box like you fled the bed that one night?
There's no cheating at all involved in this bracket. I will tell you this. We are now in our 30s, Jeremy. We're getting older. Vegas now, when I think of Vegas, I think I'm going to be exhausted and tired and sick after a weekend in Vegas, and I think Seattle sounds a little nicer.
Yeah, that's how you're going to be after this bachelor party, because our friend Matt, the Canadian, he's a partier. He stays up till 6, 7 a.m. sometimes.
I will tell you that. All right, so the next matchup, Denver versus Park City or any ski place.
Which is the same thing. I don't know how this happened.
So Park City, landslide won. So basically it's Park City or any other ski place.
But Park City is any other, right, so any other ski place. Yes. So if we are staying in the U.S., we are down, this is a weird bracket.
Weird, it's not.
Seattle, which you and our mutual friend must have voted like click,
we must have voted
a bunch of
a million times
on that city. And then any ski destination, which could be like a Denver hybrid, really. So Denver is still alive.
Yeah, kind of. It's like kind of part of there. I mean, it could be. I mean, Park City would be kind of cool. I mean, you could do a lot of different places. All right. So the matchup for the U.S. for the final two in the U.S. is Seattle versus Park City, which I think it's a interesting matchup.
Solid. It's like a city / urban / rainforest
all over the place. I did not see
weekend.
The voting go this way. I really thought Vegas would make it all the way. Vegas is out. Kind of sad.
Yeah,
so now we'll go international. We have Cabo versus Montreal.
That's a tough matchup because Montreal, I know a lot of people want to experience Montreal, but I want to experience Cabo, maybe just not for a bachelor party because I'll be shocked if Montreal doesn't win.
Montreal won. Montreal way over 80% on this vote as well.
Yeah.
Super weird. No one wants to, like, It's going to be super cold, so I guess this is a winter bachelor party that everybody's
I
voting
don't think there's a wedding date yet, so I don't know when we're going, but I guess it's going to be winter.
I just hope we're invited to this.
Well, after this, I'm pretty sure we are.
Okay, good. All right, so next one, Toronto versus Vancouver. This was a tough one, but...
And to most Americans, it's like, what's the difference?
Who cares? It's all Canada.
Canada, north,
right?
cold,
like the right side of Canada,
country.
The left side of Canada,
Yeah.
all the same thing.
I don't even know which one.
But I'm excited because this is Vancouver. I've always wanted to go to Vancouver. Very close to Seattle. We could almost hit up both in one trip.
Oh, wow.
Seattle,
I never considered
Vancouver.
that.
Take a little train or a ferry. It'd be really nice. I'm all for Vancouver. I've heard great things about the food out there. I'm excited.
I didn't hate the Toronto idea because Kawhi Leonard said he's enjoying it there. He's a man of culture and a man of laughter.
Yeah. I don't have that on here.
I know you don't.
Oh, wait. No, that's actually real laughter.
Oh, okay.
That's real laughter. Okay.
Some people are laughing at our Final Four right now.
Yeah, this Final Four is not great.
Denver, Park City, Vancouver, Montreal.
No, the final is Seattle versus Park City, and then Montreal versus Vancouver.
So the voting is now open on the Final Four matchups, Hangover.network, and we will go down to 2 next week.
This is great. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is the most random bachelor party bracket ever.
It's random, but these are our listeners, and we have to respect them. And it could be for a bachelorette party if you know of any women getting married anytime soon.
All right, let's get to we're going to get Bill from the Gambling Goosecast on, and he's going to give us his best bets for March Madness.
The bracket.
Yes, very excited. All right, let's welcome on Bill from the Gambling Goosecast, the newest podcast on the Hangover Network. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. And now, do you want us to call you Goose, or do you want to go by Bill, or how do you want to go by?
You know, honestly, it doesn't matter. Just call me Bill. It'll work.
All right, Bill.
All right, Bill. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of the Hangover Network. We are super excited to have a gambling expert with us because Mike is certainly not that, so he needs all the help.
I'm not.
So it's March Madness. It's the NCAA tournament, and this is a time when suckers make money. The people who don't watch college basketball all year make money, but I know you. What is your feeling on the tournament? Is it a place where all the suckers make money in your mind, or is it more an opportunity that you can still make money as a sharp, as an expert?
Well, you can make money betting the spreads, but bracket-wise, pretty much suckers make the money because for straight-up wins, you have no idea what's going to go on. But the spreads are pretty swayed one way. I found a few games that I like, but...
All right, so we're going to get to those round one games. Do you have, just for the people filling out their bracket pools, with your numbers, with your intelligence, do you have a team that's going to win it all that we should be focusing on?
Oh, about win it all? I don't know. Obviously, the like Duke or Kentucky or Duke is probably going to win it all. But I guess for teams that aren't the top dogs, maybe LSU. But
not UCF. Jeremy's looking for UCF in there.
Well, I am going to the UCF Duke. I'm going to the UCF Duke matchup. So I'm going to UCF VCU on Friday, and then if UCF wins, we'll watch them play Duke on Sunday. So I'm looking for an upset there. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Duke might win that game by 30.
Oh, cool.
All right, Bill, give us your best bets. So let me tell everybody about the Goosecast here, the Gambling Goosecast. You put out gambling picks every single day. Very dedicated to it. Instagram has shut you down multiple times. I don't know if they think you're making too much money off all the Instagram posts you're doing, but you bet every single day. Now, are you putting real money on it, or is this just kind of like here and there, but some of your favorite bets of the day?
I am putting real money on it, and
I'm sorry.
It doesn't always work. So, yeah. By the way, I am back on Instagram. They found out that I was not a bot. They said I was fake, but I'm real. So
why do they think you're fake? Because you post so often?
I don't know. I didn't even post it often. They just said that I was a bot and that I was spamming. So I don't know.
Because he was posting all his bets on Instagram for everybody, just to go grab all the picks.
I guess.
Well, that's a good idea. When free agency was happening, I heard that some guy just created an Instagram account, and he was like 5 minutes ahead of every free agency signing, and he got millions of followers, really? Mike. So we could have done that.
We really missed the boat there. Damn. All right, Bill, give us your best bets. So you have picks for tomorrow, which is Thursday, right? I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, Thursday
tomorrow's
picks.
Going to be Thursday, yeah. And then tomorrow I'll have a podcast for Friday's games, but I don't have those yet. But tomorrow's game, the first game is LSU and Yale.
Okay.
And I'm actually taking Yale's point spread. It's plus 7.5 here.
Oh,
I don't think Yale's going to win.
Okay.
I think they will cover just because they're one of the best offensive scoring teams in the nation, percentage-wise.
So what's the spread on that? 7.5?
Plus 7.5.
Oh, man.
What are the seeds there for perspective?
14 versus 3.
Wow. Okay. LSU's a 3 seed. Good for them.
Yep.
All right. I'm taking that. I know nothing about college basketball, so you just even telling me that these guys are in it, I'm very surprised. But I'm betting it right now. So yeah, it's 7.5. So I shouldn't take Yale at plus 260 straight up.
Probably not. I mean, that's the only thing that worries me about LSU is that they did draw Yale right away. I mean, it's a potential upset, but I think after that game, LSU has a pretty clear road to the Final Four, but this is a tough first game for them, definitely. You
say pretty clear. They would have to beat Michigan State to get to the Duke matchup in the Elite Eight.
Correct, but Big Ten has been everywhere this year. And it seems like in the Big Ten, for some reason, home court advantage means everything. And these are all neutral sites, obviously, but yeah, so that's my. So
these trends are going to be good as people are filling out their bracket, even if they're extending all the way out. These little gems, I think, will help out.
Yeah,
I'm in. I put $10 on it. I'm in. What's the next one?
It's wild.
I'm getting real wild here.
The next is Auburn and New Mexico State, and it's going to be a 13, I believe.
A 12 and a 5.
A 12 and a 5, yes. And New Mexico, I'm taking Auburn at minus 5.5 here.
Okay.
And everyone's on to New Mexico State because they're 30-4, but they're in the Western Athletic Conference. So, I mean, their biggest claim to fame this year is losing to Kansas by 3.
And they're also a 12 seed, and we know that people love the 12 seeds over the 5. So that always happens pretty much every year. So this year's 12 seeds are Murray State, New Mexico State, Oregon, and Liberty. So you're saying stay away from New Mexico State, but maybe pick one of the other 12s.
That is correct. And Auburn just has more depth than New Mexico State, and they have been playing great lately. They won the SEC tournament, and they beat Florida and Tennessee. So I think they easily cover here.
In round 2 on Saturday, that could be a good matchup. Auburn, Kansas, the 4-5.
Yeah, that could be a good game.
Look at you guys. You know so much about all this. I don't know what's going on. I'm hitting it on my sports book. I'm betting it. Are you taking the spread or just straight up on that one?
I'm taking spread at minus 5.5.
Minus 5.5, minus 105. All right. I like it.
Do it, Mike. I mentioned the 12 and the 5. The 12s are so sexy for everyone. I like to go a little different route because the seeding is all a little bit jumbled. So like teams could be close by. So what I really like is the 13s that beat the 4. I always pick one of those, Goose, because the 4 that could be the 5, the 12 could be the 13. It's kind of the same idea, but no one does it. Everyone always takes the 12. So I'm looking at some 13s, just giving you a heads up on that.
J Dawg will be taking 13s.
That's the next bet we're making is actually Vermont 13 seed against Florida State.
Nice.
We're taking the spread on it at +9 because this year Vermont is 20-10-2 against the spread this year, which is pretty impressive. And I just think they're going to keep this game close and cover it.
I was out at a bar over the weekend in Jacksonville, not too far from Tallahassee, a couple hours, and people were going nuts over the Florida State game. I think they had a big win on Friday night. I don't even know who was over, but it was a big win for Florida State. So they're a little bit hot.
Yeah, and then they ran into Duke, which everyone does, and yeah, which is going to happen all year.
To UCF.
And then the next game is the Murray State and Marquette. And I'm getting wild. I'm taking Murray State money line here.
Whoa.
I'm taking the 12 over the 5.
There you go. You got one.
Now, Bill, have you ever tried the strategy where you go – because I've done this a few times. It has worked. Where you go through and you pick all the games you love and then just flip all the picks to the other side?
Oh, my God, no.
Actually, I thought about it. I don't think it would work.
I don't think it would work either, but sometimes I feel so confident in the games. I'm like, there's no fucking way all this hits. Yeah,
that happened to me earlier in at the NFL season. A a buddy of mine took all opposite of my parlay and hit it. So it was pretty awesome.
Well, at least he's making money.
But it also makes you feel like, what are we doing here?
Yes. But yeah, Murray State has that lottery pick in John Morant. He's going to be drafted right behind Zion. So I think he's going against Marcus Howard. Marquette has Marcus Howard, 2-point guard. It's going to be a pretty exciting game, and I think Murray State takes it.
I love how they're on the same bracket there. So if that does happen and Vermont can beat Florida State, Murray State beats Marquette, you're looking at 13 Vermont against 12 Murray State, with one of those teams heading to the Sweet 16, which is pretty sweet.
That would be awesome. But yeah, those are my picks for the first round.
Love it.
Goose, that's in depth. So Mike, I think we should this is our last show before the tournament gets underway. Yes. I think we should probably give our picks for the whole thing. Maybe a little Final Four. Do you have a bracket in front of you?
I have no bracket in front of me. I was going to say, why don't we put up a little blog post this Friday with our predictions? I mean, I know it's already been started, but we could put up something with some of the picks, some show notes from the show, so people can get all of Bill's picks here and gamble on it this weekend. We'll put
that'll
something
be
up
on Hangover.network. Before you go, Goose, I want to just mention, just so you know, my 13 over the 4 this year is going to be UC Irvine over Kansas State.
Actually, I'm not mad about that pick.
Oh,
wow. He likes it. Approval.
All right. Yeah. I just picked one out.
I did have a question for you, though. Do you have any dark horses for the Valspar this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I am. I am. Listen, we're all coming off the Rory win at the Players. A little hangover here because I was an epic Sunday, epic weekend. Mike, I know you were locked into the golf.
Oh, 100% locked in. Couldn't pull away. It was tough.
A dark horse could be Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore had a slam dunk hole-in-one on the island hole at Sawgrass.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's in the field at Valspar. I don't mind him this week. As you know, golf betting is really hard.
Oh, yeah. I had Jim Furyk in the top 20. I wish I was the top 5. Would have made a decent amount of money, but I won some cash off Rory winning.
That's awesome. Rory was due for a win there. He's been clicking on all cylinders. He's probably going to win the Masters and then the Open in Northern Ireland. It's the year of Rory. We're excited about that. Furyk is 48, Mike. He's a 48-year-old, and he got second place at the big tournament over the weekend.
Oh, congrats to him. Is that old? How old is Tiger these days?
Less than 48.
Is he less than 48?
Correct.
He's 40. He's looking a little old. I think he aged pretty quickly the last 5 years.
He's doing okay.
My dark horse for the Valspar, this is just I threw $10 on Akshay Bhatia.
Is he playing this week?
Yeah, this is his first tournament.
He is 17 years old, so that's the other
17.
side of the Jim Furyk discussion there. He's really freaking good. I'm not sure he's ready to win yet. That would be crazy.
I saw the odds is plus 35,000. So
that's a heck of a long shot. He's going to be really good one day.
Yeah, and he's already lipping off at other players. He's pretty confident.
He really is, Mike. I've actually had a few conversations with Akshay, so maybe he'll come on the show at some point here.
Okay, let's try to get him on. Bill, thanks for coming on. Check out everything at Hangover.network. All the pods are up there. You can check out Bill's pod, Monday through Friday, the Gambling Goosecast, right? You do Monday through Friday?
Correct. I'll have a podcast on this Saturday, too, because I got to bet on Sunday's games.
Of course, yeah. You got to bet all weekend.
Awesome.
This is betting season.
Welcome to the network. Keep the picks going throughout the bracket. And I'm going to talk to you, Goose. I would love to come on the show prior to the Masters, and we will break it down.
Whoa.
That would be great.
All right. Thanks, guys. Go to the Hangover Network, hangover.network. Follow us on Instagram at Hangover Network, and we're going to go rest some of those reviews. Hopefully, we're back next week.